Yo! Yo, 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 yo! What is good? Um, I don't know what I'm doing tonight. I should be continuing the, Insidious Marathon before the new movie comes out, but it's so hard to watch TV when it's hot in this fucking house. Like, shit. Oh, sorry about that. Something got a one of my favorite YouTubers just uploaded a new video. I'll watch it later. Cool Duder. I always talk about him and Wet Movie One. I always talk about them a lot. Um, on the YouTube channel. What's going on? Oh my god, what's going on? Yeah, the reason is I can't watch movies and then have this thing on at the same time because it's so damn loud. And I have to put it in, like, I have to turn it all the way up because, it's just hot in here. Oh, it was pretty good. Didn't really do nothing. Just been lazy on the phone. Watching some YouTube stuff. Paused. Oh, okay. I don't know what just happened there. Sorry about that. My video just paused. Is my internet? My internet's been acting... Ah, nice. Yeah, I got in, and I think you did see it. I did get an autograph in. It was signed by Chevy Chase. I bought that on Mercari. It was $30. I know he's been doing a lot of signings lately, but I love my stuff personalized. But I didn't really see what the whole point of buying an autograph from him on the GalaxyCon site if he's not going to personalize it. You know, it's like, what's the point? And I did find out it's not really his idea. It's the manager, his manager himself. I think I saw in a video someone was going to meet him, and they asked him, well, they asked the manager, oh, yeah, same here. I was like, oh, they were asking if they could put it, they wanted him to sign a National Lampoon poster, and they were asking him, or they were asking his guard, or whatever the word, I'm missing the word already, if he can put his character name, and they're like, nah, we can't do that, unfortunately. So, why did they have those rules? You got me there, I don't know. A lot of people are doing signings from SteelCon City. I'm so disappointed. I can't get them because they're not doing well, I guess I can, but they're not personalizing anything. The other people that were doing signings is Jason Lee, who plays Dave and Alvin and the Chipmunks, doing a signing, but not personalizing anything. Same thing with someone I'm surprised is not doing any personalizations. And he's not really that famous. I mean, he's not like that big of an actor. But it was Zachary Gordon who plays Greg in Diary of a Wimpy Kid. Which I'm very surprised he's not doing any kind of personalization, so... I know Sarah Michelle Gellar is doing... the bullet and get her autograph. I don't know. I'm trying to find a Scooby Doo one because I want to get some Scooby Doo stuff hung up on my wall and everything. But what's going on?
Happy Independence Day.
Oh, thank you. You too.
Hopefully the aliens don't invade.
Yeah.
So this is the autograph I just got from one of my friends from
Oh,
Texas.
yeah. I've been wanting to get her. I think she's doing another signing
Yeah,
on GalaxyCon. Well, that and
yeah.
Streamlink.
She was in Dallas, and so she was able to get her signature while she was there, and it's a lot cheaper than going through GalaxyCon. So,
Yeah. I know
so she's.
she was in the movie I just saw not too long ago, Boogeyman.
I think she's going to be really successful outside of the Obi-Wan series.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And then I got a book from her when one of my friends that went to the convention. And
Oh, you went to the convention and met her.
I didn't go to the convention. I have a friend that I found through GalaxyCon. I looked up the hashtag, and she told me she was going to this convention in Dallas because it wasn't too far from where she lived, and so she was able to get this autograph while she was there. And she sent me other stuff inside the package as well.
Ah,
So she also sent me some Little Mermaid pens as well. So
I mean, I haven't pre-ordered too many autographs lately, mainly because of the current situation I'm still going through. I mean, other than the Chevy Chase, well, that was a cheap one, but I haven't pre-ordered a lot lately.
right.
Yeah.
I think recently I got do you know anything about Star Trek Picard and that Terry Matalas? He's
Yeah.
like the showrunner and director. I got his autograph, or it's coming. I got a Star Trek Voyager cast picture, and he used to work on it, so I'm going to get him to sign it. So it'll be like the sixth autograph on this cast picture.
And I know I really want to get Sarah Michelle Gellar is doing a signing.
Oh, nice. That would be
Even though
cool.
she's not doing personal, because I love getting my stuff personalized. Even though she's not doing it, I might bite the bullet and do it because I really
Right.
want to get. I really want to get the original Scooby Doo cast on my wall because I got Freddie Prinze Jr. and Matthew Lillard, so I need to get her and Linda Cardellini.
That
I
would
think
be
that's her
cool.
name. And I tried seeing if I could find something Scooby Doo related that she signed that's cheap, but it's kind of like the same price. I think
Right.
she's charging 175, so I'm like,
Yeah, that's a big
huh.
investment.
So that's better than nothing.
What else did she do that it's so expensive?
She did. Was the Buffy the Vampire
Oh,
Slayer?
that would explain it.
Yeah, she did that, and I know she was in Scream 2. I know what she did last summer in Cruel Intentions.
Yeah.
She's been in tons of stuff. She was in that one movie, and it was made in 2006. I think it was called The Return. I think she was in that one.
Okay. So, so what'd you think of the last Indiana Jones movie, or have you seen it yet?
I have not seen it yet, but it looks pretty good from
Okay.
trailers.
I saw it and I liked it. It's
Yeah.
better than Kingdom Crystal Skull, that's for sure.
Yeah, I remember seeing that in the theater. I think I was, when did that come out? 2008?
Yeah, it was 2008.
So I would have been 10 when I saw that. All right, yeah, so
Wow.
15 years ago.
I saw it when I was 18 in high school,
Oh,
and I went to the midnight showing, and so when I went to school, I only had like a couple hours of sleep. I was so
mm,
exhausted. Actually, I went to the Thursday night and had to go to school on Friday, so
mm.
only had like a couple hours of sleep before, and I just like slept in my Indiana Jones costume because I decided to go in my outfit as dressed as Indiana Jones and just slept in that for a couple hours before going to school. But yeah, Kingdom, it was so bad. It was like, oh no. I was all super hyped for Kingdom of Crystal Skull and everything, and it was like, oh no, aliens. What? no. It was so, and everyone's asking me, how was the movie? How was the movie? And I'm like, I don't want to tell everybody what it was like.
What do we got on the background over there? I see a picture, National Air.
Yeah, it's the National Air and Space Museum. That's
Um,
the Enterprise.
is that signed by anyone or?
No, that one's not signed by anyone, but it's literally from the National Air and Space Museum, and it's a picture from basically when the motion picture came out, and they were selling it at as a print at the Air and Space Museum.
Ah,
So it's kind of cool picture, the fact that it says Air and Space Museum at all, and it's not even one of the museums. One of the models that they actually had at the museum, but I don't know why necessarily that was a thing, but I think at one time there was a special just Star Trek exhibit that was at the Smithsonian back for the 25th anniversary or 20th anniversary. And so I think that's one of the reasons why they were selling it at the time.
that's interesting.
But yeah, so the big thing is I just got that autograph and sweated to death during the fireworks show. I had all kinds of food trucks and everything in my town for it too.
I didn't really do anything. I just like laid here all day. That's pretty much it.
Do they shoot fireworks in your area or no?
They did, but I couldn't find them. It's really impossible finding them where I'm at.
Really?
Yeah, I
So
was
you
like,
can't buy them, or you can't find a show that's
no,
near
you can
you?
buy them, but I just couldn't find where they were lighting them at this year. Just I can hear them, but I was just like, okay, I give up. So
Right. I guess you don't live near a neighborhood or anything that shoots them off.
no, there's only like a couple of houses where I'm at, like three or four.
Okay. Get that. Well, I don't think our neighborhood really shot them off, and it was just so hot and humid and everything. Nobody really wanted to shoot them off where I live. Most people just wanted to go to the big shows, and there's a couple of different big shows that are on my island, so they just decided to go there. A lot of people did.
Was it packed? Where you were at tonight? Was it really packed?
Yeah, it was packed, but it wasn't as packed as some other years because it was so hot and humid. A lot of people just didn't want to stay out and everything.
You ought to see the traffic because we have a very beautiful beach called Rehoboth.
Right.
It is packed, like packed. I mean, the beach is like 30 minutes from where I'm at, but it feels like 3 hours because it's like.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, where I live on a beach, so it doesn't take that long to get.
Is the traffic bad where you're at in the summer?
It depends on what time of day and what's going on. I mean, it pretty much. I mean, certain times of the day, getting on or off the island can be a problem. But there's usually like two ways to get off the island. There's either going east or you go south, but or you take a boat. But our area is a kind of a big tourist destination, so it's kind of always crowded around here, except for like January or something like that. A lot of people don't want to go to the beach and when it's cold.
No, definitely not.
Although it's probably the
I mean,
best
I'm pretty sure
time.
maybe some stuff is open in the winter.
I'll probably say this. If you wanted to find shark's tooth or something, it's probably easier to find it in January than it is some other times.
Yeah, exactly.
That and whenever there's a big storm that happens, Usually, if you want to find your shells and shark's teeth, you go out right after a big nor'easter or something like that. We had a big fireworks show in my town. It was hot and humid where I live. Oh, that's what I wrote. Just trying to see who wrote anything, and I don't see who's in there except for me and you.
I think it's just us. That's
Yeah.
I don't think my friends will be joining tonight, Jessica and Christina. So
This 4th of July.
yeah, Christina has 3 kids now, and Jessica has 1.
Who have you had recently on your streams? Were they like celebrities or stuff?
What's that?
Who have you had on your streams? Were they like celebrities or something? Or just people you know?
Well, Jessica and Christina, they're actually from a TV show called Extreme Sisters,
Oh, okay.
and I didn't know who they were at the time. I just saw that Jessica just happened to be doing a cameo call, and I talked with her, and we kind of just hit it off like very good friends. And then I became friends with Christina later on, and then now I'm good friends with Christina's husband.
Okay.
You know. So sometimes they join the lives.
Right.
You know. They probably won't be on tonight.
Well, yeah, I kind of expect that on 4th of July.
Yeah.
So what movie were you watching?
I wasn't watching anything right now. I was trying to find something, but I'm going to try to watch the Insidious movies before the new one comes out.
Okay.
I mean, I will admit, I mean, I'm not really too crazy about the first movie because I didn't really see what the whole hype was. I mean, an Exorcist maybe because that's like an early '70s movie,
Right.
and there was not many movies like that was extreme like that at that time.
I don't think I've ever seen any of the Insidious movies, so I'm not even sure what it's all about.
I've only seen the first one. I mean, but I've never seen the sequels. My coworker wants to go see it, so I ended up buying a cheap DVD set, like I think it was like $15 at Walmart. So I'll be watching that for this week.
Have you seen any of Secret Invasion?
I don't know what that is. What's that?
That's the new Marvel show that's on Disney Plus. That's what
Sounds familiar,
Samuel
but
Jackson.
it sounds familiar. I don't think I've seen it though.
They got like the first 2 episodes out, and I've only seen the first one so far. I haven't seen the second one yet.
Like, I'm not really on the streaming sites that much. I mean, I'm only usually on there if something new is on there I really want to see.
Right. I know they just added a Stan Lee documentary to it, and I watched that recently, and it was pretty good.
I think I heard that.
There was evidently controversy because some of the relatives of these artists came by and said, "Hey, how come Stan Lee's taking so much credit for all this stuff for creating all these characters?" And evidently there was one of the artists' grandkids or sons or whatever came up and said, "Hey, Stan Lee didn't really actually create it. It was like it was more like a 50-50 with these artists and then the Stan Lee making this stuff, and there should be more credit to this." And Stan Lee took more of the credit for these artists than the artist. The artist just like drew it and never got the credit rights for these characters. Stan Lee would just say, "Here, draw it," and then Stan Lee stuck around longer than some of these artists, and so it's like something you don't even think about necessarily is who's the real creator? Is it the artist or the writer?
Exactly.
And they would change out the artist after a while, and so is the artist still the creator after that artist, or is it the actual writer? So, and then they were saying, well, some of the times the comic book artist would introduce ideas and stuff like that about how to write things. It wasn't just Stan Lee writing in the bubbles. So it's like, huh. Oh, I was watching special features on the making of Superman. Did you know that the actors who played Clark Kent and Clark Kent's parents in the original Superman were actually portrayed Superman and Lois Lane's voices in radio?
Oh, that's pretty interesting. I did not know that. No?
I had no idea. I also didn't know until reading the making of Superman or watching this documentary that evidently, what's his name? Plays Superman's father, the in the movie, that he evidently, Marlon Brando never learned any of the lines for it, never read the script. He would just read from cue cards during the movie.
Oh,
I was like,
that.
wow.
Oh my goodness.
It's like, had no idea. And I also didn't know that Christopher Reeves evidently had to dye his hair black for the role.
Oh, really?
I was like, I always thought he had naturally black hair. I had no clue that he had to dye his hair. I just thought that was interesting. Are there any like fun facts that you've learned from movies?
Some, not a whole lot. Not a whole lot.
I know for the Mission Impossible movies, it's kind of crazy with how Tom Cruise does stuff and how there's evidently a couple times where there's cases where the actors were on set and they were saying how, hey, like the stunt guy says that, hey, we can't do this stunt. Well, Tom Cruise doesn't like that, so he finds another stunt guy, comes, hires him and says, can we do the stunt? And he says, no, we can't. And so he'll find it until he finds the right stunt guy that'll allow him to do the stunts. I'm like, what? Usually people would just say, no, that we can't do the stunts. Okay, well, let's not do it. No, Tom Cruise is the kind of guy where he hires the right guy and finds the right guy to be able to do the stunts until he can get it. It's like, that must have been a crazy thing for Mission Impossible Rogue Nation when he's on the airplane. Because I don't know how that one even got passed through. Have you ever heard about all the different problems they had to figure out just to get him on the side of the plane for Rogue Nation? Like some of the concerns, like rocks, birds, and all these other things that they had to watch out for. Heat.
Oh, no, I don't think I did.
Yeah, there was evidently like problems they had to deal with was like the hot, the cold, because when you get off, you have the heat of the engine, but then you have also the dramatic cold being up in the air and freezing your butt off. So your body, evidently, there was a problem when he came off the airplane. He was like, his body was so cold and they had to warm him up when they get off the plane. And then he had to have special eye contact lenses that were super thick, so he couldn't see anything. He can't hear anything. He had to have special kinds of earplugs in his ears so he could be on the airplane, so he couldn't go deaf. It's like,
oh my.
That's just like, so you have this director trying to give him information while he's on the side of the plane, and he has to do all this stuff, and there's no way for him to actually do it. And he had to do that stunt for the Rogue Nation being on the airplane like 7 times.
Oh my.
So I can't even imagine that one.
Mm-hmm.
And the other problem was that he was planning on being strapped to the plane so that he doesn't have his feet going off of it. And as soon as he left off, his whole body like flying off. It's like, literally, there's no way this guy could have done this without being strapped on. And it's like, this is just nuts.
Mm.
I think he was, I don't know. I think either Tom Cruise or Buster Keaton was the crazy guy as far as doing these stunts in the movie. I don't know if you've seen any of Buster Keaton's films.
I don't think I do.
Buster Keaton's the guy that would do crazy stunts, and there was no stuntman back in his days. So he did
Mm.
all the stunts, and he used to be a vaudeville actor, and he's known for like doing these films from like the 1918 to like 1960s. He was doing movies and doing shorts and stuff like that, and he did his
Oh
own
my.
stunts. There's no stuntman, and he was I mean, when he was a child doing it with the parents, he would be in a vaudeville act, and um, evidently there was a thing where the people would say that they had child cruelty because they used him as a mop and threw him around and everything with how he would be doing his acts in vaudeville.
Yeah.
So imagine a kid being thrown around and everything by his parents and being used as
Mm.
a human mop.
Mm-mm.
And there's a stunt where evidently he broke his neck, but he never found it out until about years later after he'd done it. And it's in the movie, the stunt. And he literally broke his neck, and he never found out that he broke it until he went to the doctors, and they said, "What happened to your neck?" And he says, "What do you mean? You have a broken neck and you're still running around here and doing all these stunts and everything." And he never noticed that till like 10, 20 years later.
Someone's gone.
So, and that stunt is in the movie where he broke his neck. He was like on the water thing, and there's one too where he literally falls off of a skyscraper, and he hits the window, falls off of it, bounces off, and he lands into another window. He like
Mm.
falls in like three different windows and stuff like that, and there's no safety lines or anything.
Oh my goodness. That's crazy.
You ever look up Buster Keaton? You can find him. I mean, you can find like some of the best stunts. He's also got this unusual movie that's probably one of his best movies. It's like a over 2 hour silent movie, but it's a Civil War movie called The General from 1927, and it's unique in that the Confederates actually win the movie.
Yeah. What do you think that says? You tell?
Skin Skinamara.
Get
Yeah,
your
it's kind of
close.
hard back.
Skinamarink.
What's that one about?
I have not seen it yet, but I was in Walmart and they had the Steelbook. Looks pretty good.
I'm not
I looked up the
used to
definition to see
Walmart. I'm not used to
what's that.
Walmart having steel books.
Yeah, something they carried Steelbooks before in the past, but they've been doing it a lot lately. I tried looking up to see what a skinamarink is. The definition is it's not a word, but it's based off a children's song, which I am aware of that song.
I'm looking it up. So I've never heard of it. It's a new movie, like horror movie came out 2022, so it's only a year old. It's got pretty high rankings, but then it's got a lot of 1 stars too. So it's got a couple
Got
of
good
5
reviews.
stars.
So
I don't know. It's got a 2.4 rating. What does it say? It's a Canadian experimental supernatural horror film.
oh, it's Canadian. I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either. That's what it says on Wikipedia.
Are you looking at Wikipedia?
No, I'm just looking up Google, and that's what it says. Wikipedia says that it's Canadian though. It says two children were middle of the night wake up finding their father missing. And all the windows and doors in their home vanished. That's weird.
Hmm. Um,
That would be just so creepy.
yeah,
That your father's gone, and then the fact that he did the windows and everything would. I was like, okay, there's no protection now.
there's some reviews on the back on the steelbook. A nightmarish walk through a vivid sensation of nostalgia. There's genuinely no other film like Skinamarink. That's what Whole
I'd
Door
never heard
says.
of it.
Astonishing films like this come along once in a generation. What David Lynch's Poltergeist might have looked like, Skinamarink will let loose absolute terror. I never really cared much for the original Poltergeist. I like the remake a little better.
I haven't seen the remake. I've only seen the original. That's the original's got the Jerry Goldsmith score though.
Yeah.
I like the score for that movie.
I think that was Tobe Hooper, I think, did that one. Tobe Hooper directed Texas Chainsaw.
Oh yeah. Let me see. Walter. Well, I heard from Steven Spielberg that when they did Poltergeist, they never meant it to be a horror movie. It's the only time, evidently, that let me see, directors Gary Sheeman, Brian Gibbs. Let me see, make sure I got the right movie. 1982. Who's the cast? Craig T. Nelson's in the 82 version. That's what I remember too, is that Craig T.
Wow.
Nelson's in it. And screenplay by Steven Spielberg.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Evidently, that's the other thing was, it's like one of the few films that Jerry Goldsmith, the composer, actually interacted with Steven Spielberg. And Steven Spielberg's a big music guy, and they really wanted John Williams to work on the score for Poltergeist, and they weren't able to get him, so they had to hire Jerry Goldsmith.
Mm.
But evidently, Jerry Goldsmith's got like big things. I watched a documentary with Jerry Goldsmith, and he was talking about how he really liked Steven Spielberg because he was a big music person, mainly because his mom was a big music piano person. If you've ever seen the movie about Steven Spielberg that came out last year.
Yeah.
I wasn't aware that his mom was the piano player really too much. But that's why like Close Encounters is like considered one of the big films for Spielberg, because it united things about his dad and his mom, because his dad was the big tech guy and his mom was the big music person. So what you got planned for the rest of the week? Work?
Work. This was about it.
Don't
That's
have
just
any
about
other
it.
hobbies besides collecting autographs?
I go to the movies all the time. That's about it, basically.
I'm looking for the next Mission Impossible movie.
Uh,
Hear that
oh,
one's
yes.
good.
That looks really good.
I hear nothing but good things about it. I keep hearing about all these movies that are flopping, though. Indiana Jones
It's a
is
shame.
flopping. Flash is flopping. I get
Mm.
why Flash is flopping, but that one's actually a really good movie if you haven't seen that one. I liked it. I feel bad because it's like Michael Keaton, all the Batman, Ben Affleck, and everything are really good in the movie. Have you seen The Flash yet?
Not yet. I haven't seen it yet.
I highly recommend it.
Uh,
If you like if you like the classic characters from it, it's also got a nice homage to all the stuff from the classic stuff, as well as um, if you know anything about who was supposed to be cast in other movies, they do an homage to that, like in Back to the Future, and they explain time travel in a way that makes sense, which is nice because that's the one problem I had with Avengers Endgame was that they explained time travel and it's like, what? I don't get it. This movie, it's like they explained it in such a simple way. It was like, I totally get it. They explain it like Back to the Future, and then they say, okay, in our version of time travel, it's not like Superman, I mean, Back to the Future, but it's similar, but they explain it with spaghetti and they make it so simple to explain it. It's like, this makes so much more sense. And I think it's a nice homage to anything that's been in the DC universe before, as well as casting choices that never happened that we was like, I don't have you heard about Nicolas Cage being in The Flash?
I think I did. That sounds familiar. The role does sound familiar.
Did you know that he was supposed to be cast as like Superman at one time?
Oh, really? No, I did not know that.
Yeah, so there was a time where he was supposed to be cast as Superman and he was supposed to fight a giant spider. And so in this movie, The Flash, there's a scene where we see Nicolas Cage fighting a giant spider.
Mm.
And it's like, oh my gosh, but only people that would know about this casting. And he's wearing the outfit that he was, because they actually had him coming to a casting room to figure out if he was going to be the next Superman. Because after, like in the late 90s, after they did the last Batman that kind of ruined DC franchise, he was supposed to be the next Superman to be in the franchise. And they were going to have a Justice League and all this stuff. And because how bad the last Batman movie did and bombed, they never made Nicolas Cage Superman. And so there was no Superman and no Batman until we have the Batman that we know of today. Yeah. So yeah. So the one from 2005 Batman Begins.
Oh, yeah.
So there was a big gap between that one Batman and the next one. So what else is on your list for stuff to watch?
Other movies, other than the Insidious, I want to try. I want to try to give another watch of The Nun,
Oh, okay.
because the second one's supposed to come out in just a few months. And I know this month comes out is the Haunted Mansion remake, so I want to give the original one a watch again.
I hear this new one's going to be good.
Yeah. Mainly want to see it because Jamie Lee's in it, and someone I interviewed last year's in the movie, Rosario Dawson.
Yeah, I got her signature on a Mandalorian picture, so.
A little bit expensive to talk to her, but it was worth it. It's always worth it talking to those people, even though they charge too much. I think she was $250.
Wow.
I mean, the most expensive person I've talked with was Magic Johnson. He was 300. Another 300 was Katie Sackhoff.
Oh, they're asking, is there a Justice League movie in the making versus Darkseid? I don't know. Maybe an animated one. I don't know about a live action one. I don't think there's a live action one.
I don't think so.
If there's one, it's probably going to be something with animated, I would imagine. But I know they're going to get ready to reset their universe soon, and that's probably going to be in the next couple of years.
Hmm.
And I just heard they recently posted in the news that they just got done with their Captain America movie that's supposed to have the Falcon in it.
Oh.
So they just got done with shooting the movie like a couple of days ago and posted it on social media that's been canned now that they've finished filming it. So they got that before the writer's strike.
Hmm.
Or whatever the actors thing. So I think there's a problem with the Actors Guild or something going to be coming up until they get their contracts figured out, that they can't do any acting in any big studio films until they get that figured out too. So there might be a problem with new movies coming out for a while.
Yeah.
New movies and TV shows.
Yeah.
Where are the plus size ladies? I don't know about that one. Have been hanging out with them in a while. What else?
Where are the plus size ladies?
Yeah.
Who's that?
I don't know. Somebody that's been following me because of who I've hang out with, but haven't been really hanging out with anybody like that in a while. Anyways, I gotta probably go anyways because it's about midnight where I live, and it's about that time for you too.
It's 11:49 where I'm at.
Yeah, so it's almost midnight, so I gotta go. But it's nice chatting with you, Peyton.
Nice chatting with you.
Look
Hope,
forward to the
hope
next
we get-
autographs and seeing your interviews with anybody.
Yep. Peace out.